Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus. I'm the owner of Qigong with Debbie. I'm a yoga, Qigong, and Tai Chi teacher, also meditation teacher. Most of my students are over the age of 55 into their 90s. And I want to talk about, I'm going to call this my Festive and Fit series. We just finished Thanksgiving. As you can see, I live in an area that's pretty warm this time of year, opposed to the East Coast. Today I'm going to talk about stretching. I think it's one of those things we forget to do, and it's just as important as getting your aerobic exercise, getting your also low impact exercising, and weight bearing exercises are all important, but stretching is really important too. And the thing about these practices, you want to try to do them often. Once a week's not going to do a whole lot. You want to try to get into a routine that will be easier for you to maintain. So maybe a 15-minute practice of stretching every other day would be a great plan to add to maybe your routine. Now you want to think about also, what are you going to, I don't like to live in the past or the future, but sometimes we do have to kind of look at the past to look at the future. And, this time of year in December, we're starting to think of, the new year, New Year's resolutions and things like that. But think of it in this term. Think about in 5 years, where you're going to be at. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What kinds of things, how do you want to feel in 5 years? How do you want to look in 5 years? And maybe there's some holes in your plan that it's not going to quite get you there in 5 years. So maybe stretching is one of those things that you need to add a little bit more of. And that's what I'll be doing today, showing you some things you can do in a chair. It's really great for traveling. If you're traveling a lot, you can do this in the airport. You can do it if you're at somebody's home visiting and you just don't have time to do a whole practice. Maybe this would be, something that you can at least include into a little bit of a routine for yourself. So I'm going to start with, if you have, this is a yoga strap. You don't need a yoga strap. You can use about a 3-foot long scarf or a tie. And that would work too. Even a long towel would work, if you don't have something like this. But so to try to keep you engaged in maybe doing a practice is maybe having, this strap available on your kitchen table. So it reminds you, oh yeah, I really need to stretch, because we can do a lot with the strap, which I'll show you today. So we'll get started. And I always tell people, if this is new to you, welcome to my channel, and take care of your body. If something hurts, you just back off of it. You modify it for yourself. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can to get a easy routine that you might be able to incorporate at least every other day. Okay, so we'll get started. We're going to just start with, you want to have a comfortable chair to sit on. A folding chair is good, something sturdy for sure. And we're just going to start with some rotating the spine. So all we're doing is rotating the spine. You want to have your feet flat on the floor, and you want to be towards the end of the chair. At the end of the chair is the best. You don't want to be slouching and then trying to move. You want to have some stability, with your sit bones. You can feel your sit bones. And all we're doing is rotating the spinal cord. And we're going to try to move the spine in many different directions, because that's the most important thing to do on a daily basis. Every day in every way, you want to move your spine in many different directions, because we're very linear. We don't kind of veer off from that, and that's when we get a tight vertebrae, and we want to really loosen that up. And this is just an easy thing to do. Also, this is going to cue you into how your low back is feeling, which happens to be an issue for a lot of people. If your low back is hurting, any area of your body that seems like it's hurting as you're moving, that's note to self. I need to take care of that, because what's that going to feel like in 5 years if I don't take care of it now? That's kind of the attitude you want to try to take. Maybe that helped you, encourage you to do something more on a more routine basis, more often than just once a week. Every other week would be great. And then we'll release. So there's that. That. I'm going to move my chair back a little bit, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Full exposure of sitting on the chair. We're going to separate the legs fairly comfortable. We're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to start with just placing our elbows and forearms on our thighs. Drop your head forward and use your weight of gravity to help take you forward and to help open up the back of the neck especially, and also the back of the shoulders. Just let it hang here. Breathe into the back of your body. Remember, we have a back body, a front body, a side body, an up body, down body, and we want to breathe into the whole body. So I teach a lot of Qigong and Tai Chi moves. This is also what I usually start with my classes. I do some stretching just to, get the body more pliable. Now, if you want to take this further into forward fold, as long as your back feels okay and you're not dizzy, then you can come all the way forward again to your lighting to get more of a forward fold. So this is a forward flexion of the spine. Then bringing the hands back onto your thighs to support the spine, slowly curl up. You always curl up one vertebrae at a time, stacking each vertebrae on top of each other, and the head of the neck is the last to arrive. Take your hands behind your chair wherever you can comfortably, and we're going to arch the back this time. You're going to lift up your chest to the sky, to the ceiling, lift up your chin also, and opening. This is a back flexion. You're opening the spine in a back flexion, opening up the front of the spine, the front of your chest. Now we're going to roll back again, tuck your tailbone under, chin to chest. There's that forward fold again. And then you just reverse it and open up into the other direction of the spine. So we're going to move the body in many different directions. And we're just going forward and back. This is called cat dog in yoga. It's often done in most yoga classes. It's a classical one. You can do this sitting, you can do this standing, you can also do this on the floor. So plenty of ways of doing cat dog, or just know that it's a forward flexion and a back flexion. Bring your spine back to neutral. Taking this hand, just place it on the chair somewhere, reaching that other arm up. We're going to take it over to a side stretch now. So there's your side flexion. Easy, simple. You want to get your body used to doing these. And when you do that, then when you don't do them, you're going to miss it. And then we can move it to the other side. So again, really easy. This might be all that you might do is just a couple of flexions a day. Start there, start somewhere, and just notice the difference in how your body's feeling. So that's our side flexion. This time, this arm's going to hang here. You're going to take this hand, just gently press the inside of the shoulder and guide yourself into a twist. So we're twisting the spine now. We did a forward flexion, we did a back flexion. Here's your twisting flexion. And then return back to neutral spine. Other one, this one, hand's just going to hang here. You're going to gently guide that shoulder back as you twist your spine to the other direction. And we'll do it again. This arm's just going to hang, and you're going to guide that shoulder all the way around into your spinal flexion. And then back to center, and then other side. Easy stuff. So we just move our spine forward and back, side to side, and a twisting flexion. We also added a rotation. We're going to work on the neck a little bit. You're going to drop your chin to your chest, opening up the back of the neck, and then take your ear over to the shoulder. So your ear's just hanging towards the shoulder. Try not to do that. You want to relax your arms. If it helps to just have your arms loose, that might help prevent you from doing this. And you're opening up the side of the neck into that shoulder area as well. Now from here, you're just going to lift the chin up and down. Just up and down, or actually you're kind of you're to the side, your head's tilted, and you're just bringing the chin. I love this one. This always gets really deep into my neck. And then we're going to drop the chin forward again. You're going to drop the other ear to the other shoulder, starting to open up the side of the neck. And then you're simply going to nod forward and back. Just lifting the chin up and down, getting those ligaments and tendons that attach to the head, to the neck, opening up gently. Bringing the chin to the chest again, and then bring the head back to neutral. Interlace your fingers, place them behind your head. Just let your head drop into your hands and open up the front of the neck. And then from here, we're going to round the spine, tucking your tailbone under, tucking your chin into your chest, bringing your elbows together. Use a little weight of gravity here again to open up the back of the neck. Slowly bring it up back to neutral, leaning back again. So there's a little bit of a cat dog once again. And then you roll forward, opening up the back of the neck. Now that might be enough for you today, and that would be wonderful, especially if you can do that every single day. Then we're going to release the hands. We're going to go on a little bit and work on strengthening our thigh muscles. This is called the sitting push-up. I love these. So you're going to press your hands into your thighs and you press down. Keep the back flat. So you're pressing your hands into your thighs to activate your arms. And then keep pressing into the thighs and then lift yourself up. And we're going to do that again. You're going to press down into the thighs, activate the thighs into the hands into the thighs, activating. I can feel that in my deltoids. You might feel it also in the upper chest. So we're just pressing down Pressing into the thighs and then lift yourself up. Pressing down. So these are, and you can go as far down as you want comfortably if you want a little bit more activation, and then straightening back up. Again, pressing down, the elbows will come out a little bit, and then lifting yourself up. So that's a little activation for the upper body. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to activate the lower body again. Press the hands into the thighs, and then as you're doing that, you're going to lift yourself up. Keep pressing your hands into your thighs and activate those thigh muscles. Keep pressing and then sit back down. This is great to activate your core, also your thigh muscles, and also your glutes, and then release. Before you go any further, make sure your feet are pointing forward, they're hip width apart. If you can't see your toes, then you need to adjust your legs. You don't want your feet too far forward or too far back. You want to be able to still see your toes as you look down. We'll do this again. You press in, you lift up, sit back down. So you want to be able to get yourself up and also get yourself down. And pressing those hands into those thighs are really going to support your body to do that. Now that again might be all you can use. Do 3 to start with. We're going to do this one more time. If you want to take a little bit more activity here, arms come straight out in front of you. You want your head even with your arms. This is called chair. And this is going to really activate those legs. And then from here, we're coming all the way up to standing. Let me move my chair again. Might want to have a chair nearby just for a little bit of support. We're also going to take our strap and we're going to start to work on stretching a little bit more. So taking the strap, I'm going to work stretching the upper body. You want it pretty far. You don't want it too close. You want to try to separate it as comfortably as you can. And all we're going to do is lift it up over your head. Some of you might also, my tree's in my way, might be able to even bring it behind you. So you're just bringing it forward and behind you. Do it over here, forward and behind. You don't have to go behind, just maybe keep it up above your head and bring it forward. So, or even if you can just do that, that would be great. Now we're going to do a side stretch. So this is coming over to the side bend, similar to what we did sitting, over to the, now you can do these also sitting. If you don't want to get up and you're not feeling that well, and you're in the area where you can't get up, you can also do these in the chair. Again, this is great for the strap. One arm is up, one arm is down. That'll stretch that arm. Other side, one arm is up, one arm is down. And then bring it out again. And we're going to do a big rotation here of the spinal cord again. Big rotation again, all the way around. Remember, you're going to do you. And if this is too much, again, modify it for your body. But knowing that you're, and going the other direction, knowing that you're getting a lot of flexibility with these movements. They don't take long, but they're very beneficial. And then release, bring them in front. And you can also do a twisting here as well. Start with the arms wide, twisting around. You can also bring the strap in a little bit more, and this will be a little bit of a different twist. Again, easy way to do a twist with some support with these straps. Just going from side to side. Easy. Getting that movement. This could be enough for you. And this would be beneficial if you did this every single day. That's the key. Consistency is what really helps with this. And then we're going to release. We're going to release the strap to the side. We're going to come to it in a little bit. We're going to work on our hip flexors. Your hip flexors get tight. This is going to open up your psoas muscles too, which are the more the inside of the legs. But what we're going to do here is take one leg forward, and I'll show you a side view. I'm going to take my one leg forward. I'm going to bend the knee, and this back heel is going to be kicked out a little bit. You want to kick out that heel. You don't want to be on the toe in a high lunge. Just kick out that heel a little bit. Front leg is bent and the knee is bent as well. Again, making sure that knee is directly under your ankle. You want to be able to see your toes. If you don't, that means you're too far forward or too far forward and you're going to overextend your knee, or you're not, or it's going to do the other extreme. You don't want it straight. You want it just bent a little bit over that ankle. This back heel is kicked out, hands on your hips, and you're going to rotate your hips to come even with that front leg. Now from here, you're gonna tighten your glutes really tight, 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 and then tuck your tailbone under it, and then bend a little bit more. And you're gonna feel that stretch in that other hip joint. That's where you wanna feel, in that hip flexor. Again, it's just very slight movement, but it really opens and that area of your hip flexor where your hip and your leg attached to your torso. Taking that arm up and then leaning back just a little bit to get a little bit more of a stretch in this area. Bring it back to neutral and then lean over to the side, and you'll get another deeper stretch there. And then release. We're going to do the other side. I'm going to bend the other knee, bending that knee a little bit. You're going to kick out this back heel. So you're not, it'll help you stay supported a little bit more. Bending that knee, tighten your glutes, and then tuck your tailbone under. So your hips are going to come right over this front leg. So you just guide the hips over, tighten the glutes, tuck it in, and then lifting this arm up. So the leg that's behind you, that's the arm that's going to lift up. And you're going to get a big stretch in this whole side of your body, stretching that hip flexor on that side of the body. Then you can also lean over to the side if you like for a little bit more of a stretch. Again, you can use your chair for support if you need to hold onto it. And come forward a little bit more so you feel that in that thigh muscle, especially. It's kind of a hard area to get to sometimes. We're going to come back to center. You're going to use your chair again for some rotating the hip joint. We're going to take this hip joint and we're going to make a big circle with it in one direction. Maybe you don't want to be too big in that. You know, you can do as little as you need to. Make sure you take it into the other direction as well. Do a figure 8. Again, a great hip opener for the hip is doing that figure 8. And then just kicking the leg forward and back. So again, you're limbering. It's not taking a lot of time. You're just kind of getting ready for your day. You want to do something before you do any kind of activity for the day. And these are nice, gentle ways to do that. Let's do the other side. So this side is a little tighter for me. I feel a little bit of discomfort actually in this hip, so I'm going to have to stretch a little bit more today. You want to catch something before its infancy, you know, before it blows up. You don't want something to go unnoticed, and then before you know it, you can't do anything because you didn't take care of it. We're going to move the leg forward and back as well, really working that hip joint as well. Easy. And that's it. Now we're going to do a wide angle, stretching the inner thighs and the outer legs, separating the legs in a wide angle or as comfortably as you can. And you're just going to bend one knee at a time. And you can use the chair here to go forward and back. So now we're working the inside of the legs and the outside of the legs and also your hips, just going from side to side. This stuff feels good. And you know, you'll notice that once you're doing it, you're going to want to do it more because it's just going to make a big difference in how you walk and how you feel. You know, we want to release any kind of discomfort in our body. You don't want to be in pain, but it takes some doing so you're not in pain. We're going to work on a squat. So you're going to separate your legs pretty wide, you know, as comfortably as you can. The feet are going to be fanned out. You can hold on to a chair if you like. You're going to move your hips back. And then from here, bend those knees. Now you want to make sure you're not collapsing in the knees, that you're externally rotating them. So let me move this chair out of the way. So that's one direction. You're going to see, I'll do it here also. I'm going to separate my legs. My feet are fanned out. I'm going to just press your glutes back like you're ready to close a door, like with your glutes. And now from here, bend the knees. And that starts to straighten the spine too when you do that. You don't want to be collapsed in the knees. So bring the weight on the outer edges of your feet to release, closing in on the inner thighs, and you're activating these thigh muscles again. This is a squat. These are very important to do daily, actually. And then let's stand, release the tightness in the knees. If your knees hurt, don't come all the way down. Just do a little bit. Remember, you're moving the hips back, and then you slide down. The weight's going to be on the heels. The weight's going to be on the outer edges of your feet so we don't collapse in the knees, and you're in your squat. If you did 2 of these, that would be great too. And then slowly release, bring the legs back together. And then we're going to inhale, gather, and just close it. That's it. That's a It's a really good way to start adding some stretching into your routine. Oh, there's one more I forgot. You can add this also if you're comfortable doing this. We're going to open up the thigh muscles. We straighten them then now we're going to open them. The best way is to take your strap and bring it on the ball mount of your foot, and then you're going to bend the knee, and then you can hold it this way to open up the thigh muscle. This is a great one to open up the thigh. So if your knees hurt, it's probably from tight thighs and probably tight hamstrings. So this is a nice, easy way to open up that thigh with the strap and then release. Of course, you're doing this with caution, taking your time also. But I just wanted to show you that you can do so much with the strap. So I'm going to do this on this side. So I'm going to take the strap and bring it on the ball mount of my foot. It's right under your toes. Taking that strap, you can hook onto a chair. Remember, you never lean in a chair. It's just for support. Bend the knee. That might be it for you today. Or if you want to go a little bit more, then you're just bending the knee a little bit more, using that strap for support to open up that thigh muscle. Lean forward, get a little bit more of a stretch there. And we'll do one more. We're going to do a full forward fold. Again, you want to do this with caution. If your low back hurts, you're not going to come very far, because any low back pain, when you take it forward, do a forward fold, it will exacerbate any bad back. So don't want to come too much. You don't want to come all the way forward if your back hurts. But if your back's okay, bring your hands on your chair, bend the knees, and then slowly work your way into a forward fold. And take your time with this. This might be it today, and this would be great right here. Some of you might be a little bit more flexible, and you can release your hands all the way to the toes. Again, it's up to you. But this is your forward fold. The whole back body's opening from the toes to the head. Now you've opened up the back of the leg. You've opened up the front of the thigh. You've opened up the side of the legs, the inside of the legs, and the outside of the legs. You've opened up your hips, your hip flexors. And we're good to go now. Let's slowly work your way up, stacking each vertebrae on top of each other as you slowly come back up to standing. You're going to probably feel a lot taller too. Roll the shoulders a couple of times, and you're good to go. Then you can do your other practices, maybe whatever else you do. But this alone will make a big difference if you try to do it at least every other day, or at least 3 times a week. It's going to make a big difference. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe to my channel. I try to get something out at least once a week with lots of different kinds of videos. It's all part of the Eastern practices of yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong. Thank you, everyone, and be well. And stay festive and fit.